Canada is having second thoughts about its planned purchase of the F-35 fighter jet. This decision has been a long time coming, and it's not entirely unexpected. The F-35 program has been mired in controversy for years, with debates over its cost, performance, and strategic value. Initially, the F-35 was seen as a cutting-edge solution to modernize Canada's Air Force. However, over time, concerns have grown. Critics argue that the jet is too expensive and that its development has been plagued by delays and technical issues. This isn't exactly a shock. Military experts and analysts have been vocal about the potential pitfalls of the F-35 program. Some have even suggested that Canada should explore alternative options that might offer better value for money and fewer headaches in terms of maintenance and operational readiness. The F-35 has been a source of controversy for years. From its ballooning costs to its mixed performance reviews, the jet has faced scrutiny from various quarters. Public protests and political debates have only added to the pressure on the Canadian government to reconsider its commitment to the program. But this time feels different. The stakes are higher, and the scrutiny more intense. With global tensions rising and defense budgets under pressure, the Canadian government is under immense pressure to make a decision that balances national security needs with fiscal responsibility. Prime Minister Mark Carney has ordered a full review of the deal. This review will look at all aspects of the F-35 program, from its cost and performance to its strategic value and potential alternatives. The goal is to ensure that Canada makes the best possible decision for its defense needs. Defense Minister Bill Blair is looking at other options. He has been tasked with exploring alternative fighter jets that could meet Canada's needs. This includes not only evaluating other aircraft, but also considering the broader implications of any decision on Canada's defense strategy and international relationships. One possibility: building Saab Gripens in Canada. The Saab Gripen is seen as a more cost-effective and reliable alternative to the F-35. By building these jets domestically, Canada could also boost its aerospace industry and create jobs, adding an economic dimension to the defense decision. This isn't just about planes. The decision on the F-35 has far-reaching implications for Canada's defense policy and its relationships with key allies. Choosing a different aircraft could signal a shift in Canada's strategic priorities and its approach to international defense cooperation. It's about Canada's relationship with the U.S. The F-35 program is a cornerstone of U.S. defense strategy, and opting out could strain relations with Washington. However, it could also open the door to new partnerships and collaborations with other countries. And it's about Europe's growing desire to go it alone on defense. As European countries invest in their own defense capabilities, Canada must decide whether to align more closely with its traditional allies or explore new strategic partnerships. The F-35 decision could have ripple effects across the globe. Other countries are watching closely to see what Canada decides, as it could influence their own defense procurement choices and strategic alliances. Buckle up, folks. This is going to be interesting. The coming months will be crucial as Canada navigates this complex and high-stakes decision. Whatever the outcome, it will shape the future of Canada's defense policy and its role on the global stage. Remember Donald Trump? Yeah, well, his ghost is haunting this whole F-35 thing. Trump's trade war with Canada didn't exactly inspire confidence. He also wasn't a huge fan of NATO. Remember America First? Trump cozied up to Putin and froze aid to Ukraine. This made a lot of European leaders nervous. They started to wonder if they could really rely on the US for defense. Canada was picking up on the same vibes. Trump's actions planted the seeds for what we're seeing today. Europe is tired of being the sidekick. They're ready to be the hero of their own story. They're boosting their own defense production. They're working together more closely on military projects. This push for strategic autonomy is a big deal. It means Europe wants to be able to defend itself without relying on the US-Canada's F-35 review plays right into this. If Canada ditches the F-35, it sends a message. Europe isn't alone in questioning America's leadership. Enter the Saab Gripen, like a sleek Scandinavian knight in shining armor. Okay, maybe not a knight, but it is a pretty sweet plane, and it's a serious contender to replace the F-35. Canada is considering building Gripens locally. This would create jobs and boost the Canadian economy. It would also give Canada more control over its own defense industry. The Gripen might not be as flashy as the F-35, but it could be a better fit for Canada's needs. Section 5, the economic fallout, jobs, industry, and the price of independence. So, let's talk money. The economic implications of defense contracts are far-reaching and complex. They touch every aspect of the economy, from job creation to technological advancements and even international trade relations. Canceling the F-35 would be a huge economic decision. The F-35 program isn't just about buying aircraft, it's about the entire ecosystem that supports it. Thousands of jobs are tied to this program, from engineers and factory workers to suppliers and logistics companies. You see, Canadian companies are already part of the F-35 supply chain. These companies have invested heavily in infrastructure, training, and technology to meet the stringent requirements of the F-35 program. This investment has not only created jobs, but also spurred innovation and technological advancements in the aerospace sector. They stand to lose billions if the deal falls through. The ripple effects would be felt across the economy, leading to potential layoffs, reduced investment, and a slowdown in economic growth. The aerospace sector, which is a significant contributor to the Canadian economy, would be particularly hard hit. Bombardier, a major Canadian aerospace company, has warned about the consequences. Jobs could be lost. Investment could dry up. The company has been a cornerstone of the Canadian aerospace industry for decades, providing high-paying jobs and contributing to the country's GDP. The loss of such a significant player would be a blow to the industry and the economy as a whole. But here's the thing. Investing in the Gripen would also create jobs and boost the economy. The Gripen program offers its own set of economic benefits, including job creation, technology transfer, and industrial partnerships. It could open up new opportunities for Canadian companies and help diversify the aerospace sector. It's a gamble either way. The decision to cancel the F-35 or invest in the Gripen is not just about choosing an aircraft. It's about shaping the future of the Canadian aerospace industry and the economy. Both options come with their own set of risks and rewards, and the stakes are incredibly high. The choice will have long-lasting implications for jobs, industry, and the price of independence. Section 6. Political battle lines drawn, from Ottawa to Brussels. This isn't just a military decision, it's a political hot potato. In Canada, the F-35 has become a partisan issue. The opposition party, the NDP, wants to scrap the deal entirely. They're even calling for canceling other U.S. defense contracts. This is putting pressure on Prime Minister Carney. Meanwhile, in Europe, leaders are watching closely. They see Canada's decision as a bellwether. If Canada chooses independence, others might follow. Section 7. Ghosts of F-35 past a history of controversy. The F-35 program has been plagued by problems from the start. Cost overruns, technical glitches, delays, you name it. Canada has already been down this road before. They initially signed on to the F-35, then backed out, and then signed on again. Each time the decision was met with controversy. This latest review is just the latest chapter in a long and messy saga. Section 8. A base too far? Canada's existing F-35 infrastructure. Here's the kicker. Even as Canada reconsiders the F-35, they're still spending money on it. The Canadian government has already allocated significant funds towards the F-35 program, despite ongoing debates about its necessity and effectiveness. This financial commitment is not just a drop in the bucket, it represents a substantial portion of the defense budget. Critics argue that these funds could be better spent on other defense priorities or even on domestic issues that require urgent attention. However, proponents believe that the F-35 is essential for maintaining Canada's military edge and fulfilling its international obligations. They're upgrading 12 bases to support the F-35. These upgrades are extensive and costly, involving everything from new hangars and runways to advanced maintenance facilities and state-of-the-art training centers. The goal is to ensure that these bases can fully support the sophisticated needs of the F-35, which is one of the most advanced fighter jets in the world. This infrastructure investment is seen as a long-term commitment to the F-35 program, making it even harder to back out now. This is a bit awkward, to say the least. The situation has put the Canadian military in a difficult position. On one hand, they need to prepare for the possibility that the F-35 will be a central part of their future operations. On the other hand, there's still uncertainty about whether the program will continue as planned. This has led to a lot of confusion and frustration among military personnel who are caught in the middle of this complex and politically charged issue. It shows just how complicated it would be to reverse course now. The decision to invest in the F-35 was not made lightly, and reversing it would involve untangling a web of contracts, international agreements, and strategic plans. This complexity is a major reason why some officials are hesitant to pull the plug on the program, even if there are valid concerns about its cost and effectiveness. The stakes are incredibly high, and any decision will have far-reaching consequences. Canada is stuck between a rock and a hard place. On one side, there's the need to modernize its military capabilities and stay competitive on the global stage. On the other, there's the risk of overcommitting to a program that has been plagued by delays and cost overruns. This dilemma is further complicated by the fact that Canada is part of international alliances like NATO, which have their own expectations and requirements. Balancing these competing priorities is no easy task. They've already invested so much in the F-35. The financial and logistical investments are just the tip of the iceberg. There's also the investment in training pilots and maintenance crews, integrating the F-35 into existing military strategies, and ensuring that all the necessary support systems are in place. These investments represent years of planning and preparation, making it incredibly difficult to pivot to a different solution at this stage. But do they dare risk alienating their European allies and becoming overly reliant on the US? This is a critical question that Canadian policymakers must grapple with. The F-35 program is not just a national issue, it's an international one. Many of Canada's NATO allies have also invested in the F-35, and backing out could strain these important relationships. At the same time, relying too heavily on the US for military technology and support could limit Canada's strategic autonomy. It's a delicate balancing act, and the stakes couldn't be higher. Section 9. The future of fighter jets, a transatlantic tug-of-war. The F-35 decision is about more than just planes. It's a test of the transatlantic alliance. It's about whether Canada will stick with the US or forge its own path. It's about whether Europe can truly step out of America's shadow. The stakes are high, the world is watching. Whatever Canada decides, one thing is clear: the future of fighter jets is up in the air.